they are on the verge of a white genocide. What do you think about that?
Okay, I would agree with that.
You are not very political.
No.
But you're going to bother to come back to vote in the South African elections.
Very much.
Why? Why is it so important this time?
Because a lot of my friends are really battling in South Africa, and
against what?
I know that a lot of my friends don't have basic things like electricity and running water, because the council just doesn't provide that anymore. Just simple things.
So, and you said that you want to make sure that the ANC are not in power.
Yes,
this
so
time
I think everyone, even those people that don't usually bother with politics, I think everybody should be voting in this election.
And is there a viable alternative to the ANC? What's going to change if you change the party in charge? What will they do differently?
I think a lot of things will change. I think what's the right word? The degree of greed will be greatly diminished, which will mean there's a lot more of people's taxes that are going to go to pay for things that we pay tax for.
So who is the party that you'll vote for?
I would like to vote for the Democratic Alliance. They're the main opposition to the ANC.
Are they centre right, centre left, hard right? Where would you say they are?
No, centre left, I'd say. Or just in the centre. Where?
This way.
This way?
And the ANC are so-called hard left?
I don't know about left. I'd say very hard right.
Are they?
I'd say.
In what way? Because from what I knew, the ANC originally was affiliated with the Communist Party.
Yes.
But if you go far enough to the left or the right, you will. I think
their origins were based on all things good for
liberation for black people who were
at the time. I think correct. And
but with 20 years past that now, it's time for a different type of thinking, different politics.
Well, I think their politics, everything's changed, and they're no longer about serving the people. I mean, even the non-white people that I know are already. Everyone is disillusioned, basically.
In South Africa, are you considered white?
Yes. So I'm considered white.
Because I know you have a mixed heritage.
Yes.
Including Middle East and Mediterranean and various
when
things.
my Lebanese family first, years and years ago, first came to South Africa, we were classed as non-white. So we were classed as black. In South Africa, there's 4 main nationalities. There's black, white, Indian, and coloured. And my family were classified as black.
And everyone had to be identified as something?
Yes.
Even if you're
in
mixed?
One of those, yes. Well, basically, if you weren't anything that, if you didn't have beautiful, clear white complexion, you were classed
one
as
of the
black.
other.
And years later, they had a reclassification, time of reclassification where people could apply to have their ethnicity and race group reclassified. So then we were classified as white.
So you can apply to change your race? Well,
at the time you could apply to change your race. Because that would affect a lot of things years ago about where you could live, where you could travel to, whether you could walk in the streets, you know, go to the beach, very simple things.
Well, I think even in America, the idea of who is white and who is not has changed and has evolved in certain ethnic groups that weren't considered white now are considered white.
Yeah.
I mean, the concept of race is, to an extent, just a social construction anyway.
Yeah.
It's not actually scientifically
no,
provable.
it's just
we're all a mix of various races at some point.
I think in South Africa there's a lot of...
One second.
Okay.
Kieran, how are you? I'm just rolling. I'm going to pause the camera, but can I just say a quick hello?
Yeah.
Because we were talking South Africa, and I've stumbled upon
hello.
an activist.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Tanya.
Who would have
Tanya
been
from South Africa.
Yes,
solidarity.
yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
That's right. That was nice to run into Kieran O'Reilly. He is a activist outside the embassy.
Okay.
And he would have, I would guess, strong feelings for the ANC as it was back then, when it was a liberation movement, being an anti-racist campaigner.
Completely.
I'm guessing 20 years ago you would also have been
I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. My upbringing was very liberal.
Okay.
For South Africa at the time.
And is that because you're not white in the traditional Afrikaans or British sense?
No, because my parents had a lot of friends who were non-white, so my upbringing was around all sorts of people, which was fantastic. But at the time, most white people had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
I mean,
they were living in a bubble.
Yes, but it was a really good propaganda machine.
Yeah.
Which way are we going?
We'll go past the embassy,
excellent.
and then we'll come back. Watch out.
No, it was a good propaganda machine because most white people had no idea what was going on in the country. And if they did, they weren't really interested. It didn't do anything.
Yeah,
I always used to be confused growing up. Well, yeah, why would they? Because life was good.
Yeah.
I used to be confused growing up because my friends couldn't come to the beach. You know, we couldn't go to movies.
Yeah.
I never used to understand why.
Wow. How would you compare your experiences growing up in South Africa to what you saw travelling to Israel, Palestine? Are there parallels? Because people in the Palestine Solidarity Campaign and people who went through the liberation in South Africa will say, like Desmond Tutu said, what I see happening in Palestine is like what we had suffered, only worse.
Okay, yes, but you asked me in my own experience. In my own experience. In my own experience, no, I can't compare because I wasn't party to being on the other end of discrimination like that. It wasn't
because you were perceived as a white person.
Because I was white.
Okay.
So it wasn't in my experience at all.
Okay. Well, then the parallel would be with an Israeli who lives in the Jewish state with the privileges that entails, as white South Africans had under apartheid.
Yeah, that could be equated. Correct. That would be correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just.
I mean, I'm not saying it's exactly the same.
No, but
there are definitely differences, but I think it's a parallel that a lot of people have drawn.
I would agree with that then, because it just was really what's the right word? The propaganda at the time was so good that a lot of people in my generation had no idea what was going on. There was no, life was just how it was. There was that's just how things were.
Yeah.
My childhood was a very happy childhood.
Okay.
And if I compare, or if I think about it now, extremely very privileged.
Yeah.
But very happy. You know, it's just really sad.
Yeah.
People have got no idea what's right under their noses.
Yeah, exactly. But it makes you wonder, you know, in 100 years we'll probably look at how we live now, and we might say, how did we allow that to happen?
Well, yeah, it's just very sad, I think.
Yeah. Do you think there are any other countries that have had a similar problem?
Well, the United States comes to mind.
Okay. Where,
I think
that's true. There was racial segregation.
Yeah, I think most countries have the same problem, just to different extents, whether it's racial or ethnic, or, I mean, even within South Africa, the ethnic groups in the African community have been killing each other for generations.
There are alarmists who are saying in South Africa they are on the verge of a white genocide. What do you think about that?
Okay, I would agree with that. Are we crossing here?
Yeah, we'll go this way. That there could be a white genocide?
Yes, I would agree with that. I also think there's at the moment there is a mass exodus of people, which is really sad, I think.
But on average, are white South Africans not still richer than black South Africans on average? And are black South Africans not murdered at a higher rate by whoever?
Black South Africans.
A black South African is more likely to be any given black South African is more likely to be murdered than any given white South African, because they are on average poorer and live in areas where there's higher crime rate, etc. On average.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it.
We'd have to look into it.
I don't think it's got anything to do with.
And that doesn't make killing white people right. Okay, but on average, certain ethnic groups will be richer than others. That's just
I do think so. Yes, agreed. Are we going across the road?
I'd have to look at the. I'd have to look at the stats. But if you're going to say there might be a white genocide, we'd have to presume that white people were being murdered at a higher rate than black people, which I don't think.
As an example, are we going in? Okay. What about that?